Yes, guys, what's going on? So, Sergey the Crusher Kovalev will be facing off against Andre Ward very soon. It's a very exciting matchup, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down the 5 keys to victory for Sergey Crusher Kovalev. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Make sure you leave your comments in the section below. And yeah, holler at our brother. So here we go. The 5 keys to victory for Sergey Kovalev. The first one, okay, the number 1 key to victory for Sergey Kovalev, and the reason I've put it out as number 1 is because I believe it is the most important thing that Sergey Kovalev needs to do to win this fight. More than anything else on this list, this is the deciding factor of who wins Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev. He needs to start fast and he needs to be first. If everything that Andre Ward is doing, okay, and everything that Virgil Hunter is doing is moving towards the direction of trying to get Sergey Kovalev to start slow and pace himself, basically. Pace himself a little bit too much. And in other words, start slow. If you look at the interviews of Andre Ward and Virgil Hunter, they're saying that Sergey Kovalev is going to quit in this fight. The reason they're saying this is that Sergey Kovalev sees this. Sergey Kovalev tries to pace himself too much. He has doubts in his mind about his fitness, about him being able to go the 12-round distance. Sergey Kovalev already has doubts in his mind about his own fitness. So for me, I think that this is the most important factor, because if Sergey Kovalev gives away the early rounds, yeah, I know they've already had one fight to adjust, but the thing is, Andre Ward is better in the long run than Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev is definitely, in my opinion, going to lose some later rounds, so he needs to get an early lead on Andre Ward like he did in the first fight, but this time just finish stronger, okay? Sergey Kovalev has to throw punches in the early goings. He cannot be patient, because Andre Ward will beat him to the punch. If he's not very active with his punches, he throws only a few at a time, really tries to pace himself too much, not very active. He's not going to be sharp, he's not going to be in a rhythm, he's not going to be fluid, and if he takes too long to get started, all Andre Ward is going to do is pick him off with pot shots, and he's going to get the better of him. Sergey Kovalev is naturally bigger at the weight. He's a fluid fighter. He's a very good boxer. He needs to stick to what he knows and really put it on Andre Ward early, and he could potentially even get Andre Ward out of there early, as we saw in the first fight. Now, the second thing is that he needs to keep on the outside. The reason for this is because Sergey Kovalev has proven in the first fight that he is the better boxer on the outside than Andre Ward. He is quicker on the right hand, he's better with the jab, he's more fluid on the outside, and for me, Andre Ward is the smaller fighter, just generally, and he struggles to get inside on Sergey Kovalev. I'm not sure about their reaches, but the way it looks to me, if you take height into consideration, you take the arm length into consideration, and also, just finishing on that, I think Sergey Kovalev is the larger, better fighter on the outside. On the other hand, yeah, I'm going to also say this, that Andre Ward is the more diverse fighter. But the thing is, right, and I'm going to fall back to a quote of Bruce Lee. Well, I'm going to not quote him exactly, but I'm going to quote him somewhat. He said, "I don't fear the person who practices 1,000 kicks. I fear the person that practices one kick 1,000 times." It goes something like that. And that's what I think it is. I think that when you have such a, you can fight southpaw, you can fight orthodox, you can fight on the inside, you can fight on the outside, you can fight on Pluto, you can fight on Mars, you somewhat lose a little bit of the fundamentals. And I think with Andre Ward, I think that he has very good fundamentals, but he doesn't have as good fundamentals as Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev sticks to the basics, and he's very, very good at it. That's where he's got his success, from the outside boxing, from the jab and the straight right hand. He's got a very good left hook on the outside, better than Ward. Ward is a much superior inside fighter, in my opinion. I don't think Sergey Kovalev can fight on the inside. I think he just clinches. But on the outside, he's devastating. He throws a mean left hook at range. So, you get two types of left hooks, really. You get the left hook, which is an inside left hook, someone like Iron Mike Tyson, Joe Frazier. But then you get left hooks like Sergey Kovalev throws, and I think they're devastating. They're really devastating left hooks. They get disguised as jabs as well. But I definitely think that on the outside, Kovalev is the better fighter, the better boxer, and if he keeps this at range, I think he can win this fight. He's sharper as well. He's good in his feet, you see. So what Sergey Kovalev does is he controls range better on the outside, and because of that, he is able to catch his opponent coming in. And I talked about this leading up to the first fight, that Sergey Kovalev will catch Andre Ward coming in. And that's where Andre Ward is vulnerable, because Andre Ward likes to leap in, and Sergey Kovalev is very good on his feet. He's very good at controlling distance and measuring distance, and also timing an opponent. And I think he's got better timing than Andre Ward. I'm not sure about this new fight, the second fight, but the first fight he was the one who was more active, and that's where he got all his success. So moving on from that, we're going to go on to the third one, which is be very confident in his footwork. Now this is linking in with the first key to victory and the second key to victory. It ties into the first one, because if Sergey Kovalev isn't fully confident in his footwork, what I mean by confident in his footwork is it's not actually confidence in his footwork, it's confidence in his stamina. He needs to utilize his footwork because he's better on his feet, but when you're trying to, conserve some energy, so to speak, what you're going to tend to do is be a little bit more flat-footed, because what takes the most energy in the ring is your footwork. And yeah, I know Sergey Kovalev he overuses a lot of energy, he wastes a lot of energy, let's say, but it works for him, because how you could say Muhammad Ali, he used to waste a lot of energy, but if you've got the fitness to do it and you can go 12 and you're confident in your fitness, when you're on your toes you can move quicker. And the thing is, when you're flat-footed, if you think about it, moving when you've got your both balls of your feet on the floor and you've got your heels on the floor, it's going to be harder to move. When you're on your toes, it's easier to move, because you don't have to drag your whole foot across the floor. You don't have to lift it, because when you move your feet, right, when you're on your toes, you can just jump around on your toes. But when you've got your full foot on the floor, you have to lift your foot up and then move, and it causes a problem. And that's why they say in boxing you need to be on your toes. So if Sergey Kovalev is confident on his feet, I think Andre Ward is a more flat-footed fighter. He wastes less energy, but he's more flat-footed, right, is Andre Ward, than Sergey Kovalev. So you've got to give Kovalev his credit in his boxing. He's a very underrated boxer. But yeah, that's the next key to victory. Number 4, jab, and the uppercut. I think the jab's key for Sergey Kovalev, because you can jab with the jabber, okay? And which Andre Ward is going to do isn't a jab with a jabber. But the thing is, you shouldn't hook with a hooker. And I have never seen Andre Ward throw a significant uppercut. And the thing is this, yeah? The jab of Sergey Kovalev is superior to Andre Ward. Andre Ward's jab, it has different variations and he can throw it in different manners, and he's a complete fighter. But when you compare the basic jab of Kovalev and the basic jab of Ward, the jab of Kovalev keeps Andre Ward at bay and he can bust his nose, and Sergey Kovalev will use his footwork. He'll put his body into it, and he's got a very, very strong jab. He's got all his weight behind his jab. His jab totally threw, in the first fight, Andre Ward off balance. Okay, so the jab is key. In regards to the uppercut, I'm going to say this. The uppercut is a dangerous punch for most fighters, but I think Kovalev's got a very good chin. I cannot see Andre Ward dropping Kovalev. That's hard. He might be able to, break him down or whatnot, but as far as a one-hit knockdown goes, I struggle to see that happening. Andre Ward's the guy moving up. He didn't show us any significant power in the first fight. He showed us body shots, but he didn't show us head shots. Really buzzing Sergey Kovalev. I didn't see that. So he could throw the uppercut, because Andre Ward fights low. He fights with a peekaboo guard sometimes. When he's coming in, he likes to fight in the peekaboo guard, comes in. He's bobbing and weaving a lot, using a lot of head movement. And the best punch for that sort of style, when Andre Ward comes in on the inside, is the uppercut. And that's the reason that Cus D'Amato said that Mike Tyson should never face George Foreman, because George Foreman is the worst style matchup for Tyson. Andre Ward, when he comes on the inside, he fights like that. He's a very, very, very diverse fighter. Switches his styles up from Mayweather Roy Jones and goes into the Mike Tyson inside fighting. He's a complete fighter, is Andre Ward, but he is open to the uppercut, in my opinion, when he fights in that sort of fashion. The final key to victory, it mimics the first because in terms of its importance, because all these 4 things that I've highlighted are just a small tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that Sergey the Crusher Kovalev needs to do to win this fight. But the person who was going to devise the best game plan for him and do the best for him is who? John David Jackson. He's a very good coach. I think he's brought Sergey Kovalev on leaps and bounds. He's really tuned him up, and Sergey Kovalev doesn't respect him, and for that reason I don't respect Kovalev. I like him as a fighter, I love his fighting style, but as a person I don't like Kovalev. I don't think he's a good guy. He's mean, he's rough, so in a sense I like it in terms of boxing, but as a human being I don't think he's a very loyal type guy. He doesn't have respect. I think he's just a mean guy, Sergey Kovalev, and he needs to trust John David Jackson before the fight, and he needs to show that he trusts John David Jackson before the fight, show him respect, and then John David Jackson will put his heart into it, and he will help Sergey Crusher Kovalev win this fight. And he definitely needs to listen to him in the corner, because there's going to come times in this fight where he's going to need to change his game plan, and he's not going to see it, and the person who's going to see it is John David Jackson. And if Sergey Kovalev gives him that level of respect, then that respect will be returned. They've been working together for a while. John David Jackson understands Sergey Kovalev. He needs to listen to his corner. He needs to listen to his coach. And if he does these things, he'll win the fight. He could win this fight. But the question is, will he do these 5 things? And my truthful opinion is, I do not think that Sergey Kovalev will carry out these 5 things. If he does, he will win the fight. But I think all the mental games, all the things outside of the ring are going to, stop him from performing inside the ring. From trusting his corner, to the gassing issues, to what's going on, outside with the judges and things like that. He's going to try and go for the knockout maybe at some point. He's listening to Andre Ward. These mind games are working on him. He's doubting his conditioning. There's a lot that goes into this, and I think that's where he will lose the fight, if he loses. If he carries out these 5 things and doesn't let anything get to him, I'm giving Sergey Kovalev a very good chance in this fight. Leave your comments in the section below. Subscribe as always. Be Real TV. Let me know what you guys think about the 5 keys to victory for Sergey Kovalev.